Hey guys, Spectrum Economics here, World Vegan Day in Melbourne. As you can see behind me, this is the big area, and inside here we've got hundreds of shops, some of them food stores, some of them selling products, some of them giving you awareness, animal awareness about cruelty and things. They've got the she shepherd stuff in there. So today I'm just going to be having a look around, and then I'm also going to be attending some of the speakers' presentations and stuff. I have to hear what they've got to say. So it should be good fun, and I'll show you a little bit more once I get in.
Here we are. So we've got some speakers here. You can see quite a few different speakers. We went up and listened to them after we'd actually had a good look around the place after lunchtime. As you can see here from the program, there's a lot of stuff going on. So it wasn't just the speakers, but there's plenty of stalls. You can see here as we get into the building, into the tent, we got some acai bowl stores, and there's a coconut stores over there. The place was absolutely huge. It was under a really massive tent, and there's an amazing number of different stores that they had there. You know, there were so many food stores for like the first half of the tent. Literally everything you could imagine, possibly imagine, they have it in terms of vegan food. As you can see here, this is a bit further in. So that was some other vegan products we had there. It's amazing what you can actually have that is actually vegan. As we're heading over to this store here, I believe this is vegan soaps, vegan soap products. So some of the scents on these, you know, really sweet smelling soaps, and what you can get. All of them, of course, are cruelty free. And you can see got it in terms of liquid soap and liquid, I think, shower gels and all sorts of stuff there. Sold in various different blocks, so many different types of scents. Heading over here now, this is a store that was selling nuts. I think nuts and chocolate. There's so many different types of nuts you can see here. Different types of mixtures of nuts. What's that? Bikinis, I think that's how you pronounce it. You can see just around here, you got a whole load of people that are trying out different nuts. And I think trying out chocolate as well. Different types of vegan chocolate bars. So yeah, there's so many different things you can try. Okay, over here we've got makeup. That's right, you can get makeup that is also cruelty free. You don't have to get makeup that's been tested on animals. And it definitely was showed at the at this World Vegan Day. You can see all these products down here. You got different bags. All these are cruelty free. Animals were not killed to make these bags. All of these are available there. They were on sale, so you can actually go there and you can buy them. As we got over here, you can see this stand, this stall over here. I spent a little bit of time with these guys actually. Something very interesting. Medical advances without animals. So what this is actually testing. You know about animal testing? A lot of animal testing takes place in the world. It's horrendous what happens to these poor animals in terms of, you know, trying to get you better products in terms of or deodorants, for example, or makeup, or any of that stuff. All this sort of stuff gets tested on animals. And also the types of drugs as well animals get tested on. And these guys have found an alternative way of doing it that you don't have to test on animals. And they've actually been in contact with a number of different universities. Most of them around Victoria, actually, that they've spoken to. And they've got quite a bit of research. They're targeting the younger researchers. So this is, you know, try and create the habit of actually using alternative testing methods. So of course you need to test drugs one way or another, but it doesn't necessarily have to be done on animals. So I think some of what this lady I was talking to was telling me that you can actually test it on people, or the cells of people anyway, which makes a little bit more sense, well, a lot more sense than testing on an animal, because animals have very, very different skin, even if they are somewhat similar in many ways to us. Testing on an animal, it may not work on an animal, it could work on a human. It could, you know, it could work on an animal, but not on a human. So there could be a lot of time wasted and a lot of suffering of these animals. You can see here I'm signing a petition to try and get testing, non-animal testing going, getting more money, getting more funding. I had a hard time writing. I injured my hand, unfortunately, at that time, so difficult. Here we have another store. Again, this is similar sort of thing. It's about experiments on animals and animal testing. And it's trying to get the message about how cruel it is to test on animals. So Again, this is another store trying to get that message out there that you can actually test drugs, you can actually test makeup, you can actually test all of these things without doing it on animals. So there's an alternative way of doing it and a less cruel way of doing it. And it'd be great if they can get their message out. Alright, we went over to orangutans. Interesting, very, very beautiful animal. Orangutans are very beautiful animals indeed. Amazing primates. Unfortunately, to get palm oil, we are destroying a lot of their natural habitat. So they're really getting a bad end of the stick. And the populations of orangutans have dropped tremendously. As you can see here, they've got a little computer on their store. We'll get to that in a second. Here we are. So you've got a little running the running presentation there. As you can see on the next slide, the number of the population that's in the green of orangutans, the size of the rainforest compared to 1932 compared to 2000, as you can see, it shrunk in Sumatra a massive amount, and that is a lot of land. They don't have the land, they don't have the area for them to live, their populations die out. And it's a real shame that it happens to such a wonderful animal, well, for any animal for that matter. But orangutans, they are very beautiful animals indeed. So we see we've got a few other stores down here. There were so many stores, as I mentioned before. We've got more products, bag products. Again, all cruelty-free. And we've got Beagles over here. Cruelty related to Beagles. Again, that's an interesting one. As you know, Beagles are often working dogs here in Australia. You got them working with the police, you got them working at the airports and all that. I think there's some arguments around the level of their treatment, the level of cruelty in regards to that. We've got some more products over here. Again, as I mentioned, there were so many stores at World Vegan Day. All the food stores, and here we go. This is again talking about testing, I think. What if makeup was tested on humans instead of animals? And you can see from that photo how nasty that actually is. You wouldn't want to suffer that. Why should animals have to suffer that as well? It is actually, it's quite horrendous, isn't it? We've got here Himalayan children's, I just missed that on the camera, children's care home. Again, more humanitarian efforts, and that's towards humans. Of course, that is still relevant. Now have a look at some different types of animals. So we look at cows, save the cows. They're alternative products to eating beef. Also, cows are used as well for milk and dairy, and as well as clothing, their leather as well. And for goats as well. Goats are not spared from abuse either. And we've also got some information as well about chickens. I think that was advertising a new documentary, Dominion, so we'll be looking forward to seeing that come out. We've got over here rabbits. Rabbits don't get a great deal either. They tend to get hunted, which isn't great. And also as well, rabbits are kept as pets, sometimes just let out into the wild. And rabbits are not well adjusted to living in a natural Australian environment anyway. So you don't want your rabbit, you just abandon them. They're going to become food for some other animal, or they're going to starve, or something. It's not going to be a nice experience for them. Okay, we've got here the Cannabis Co. This provides information about the usage of hemp. Hemp is actually a very useful product. You can actually grow it. It uses a lot less land and a lot less water than what cotton does, and it's also very durable as well. So in fact, if hemp can be grown more, in fact, there'd be quite substantial savings in terms of cost of producing clothes. Alright, what we've got here is actually quite interesting. This is on the education side of things. Now, I'm always fairly big on education. I'm not necessarily happy with our current education system, but the education I'm talking about more is, people actually understanding things themselves rather than relying on a structured syllabus. So anyway, so what we've got here with this store, this is teaching children about animals and teaching about cruelty. A lot of times, when we're growing up, we don't get told about the cruelty that goes into our food or goes into our clothing. As you can see here, provides some interesting information. You've got lions, and we've got about chickens. And what chickens go through is actually quite horrendous. Like, you've got the little chicks, the ones that can't grow into hens. Obviously the boys, they get grounded up and killed, and it's a very horrible way to go. It's got about cows and all that. Presents it into a nice format that's, easy for our little ones to understand. It's always good to start at a young age, to try and get this information out there. So what we got now is the Animal Justice Party. I wasn't even aware of such a party. As you know, some of you have seen on some other videos, I'm not particularly fond of any political party, especially here in Australia, where it's dominated by two parties that are fundamentally the same, the LNP and the Labour Party. And a lot of the other parties don't stand much of a chance. It's a complete lack of democracy. And as I was talking to the lady over there, she seemed to be in agreement regarding a lack of democracy, and they're actually trying to bring their points forward and highlight animal cruelty as being a real problem that is just being completely ignored by all of the major parties. So be interesting to see where that goes. My sister actually picked up a giant magnet from these guys, and she actually got it on her car. So sort of promoting that. They're mostly in Victoria. I think they have a few people here in Queensland. So anyway, after our lunch, we actually went over and we listened to some of the speakers there for a little while. There's a lot of other activities going on as well, so we listened in on a few of the speakers. So we had a speaker who's talking about, I think it was about animal cruelty in general, and how the animal industry and all that, which is very good to hear. It's good to get the message out there. Up here now, I think we've got 4 or 5 sports people. So we've got a cricketer, we've got a bodybuilder, an AFL player, and I think as well a professional sprinter or professional athlete. And they went up to sort of tell their stories about how you can stay very fit being a vegan. So you can see all these sports people have got different strengths and different abilities. So you can actually have a vegan diet and not necessarily be lacking in any area. And these sports people are obviously exceedingly fit, either very, very fast or very, very strong. And they've competed at the highest level, on a national level, on a national stage. You can see here this man here talking to Billy Simmons. And he was Mr. Universe, I think, back in 2009. And it's Natural Mr. Universe, I think is the title. And he actually lifted 100 kilograms 100 times in under 10 minutes, actually on World Vegan Day itself. As you can see from this footage, this was taken towards the end of the challenge. You just got a few more lifts to go. As you can see, he looks pretty exhausted. But still, nonetheless, though, you're lifting 100 kilograms 100 times. It's actually quite a magnificent feat. You can see here he goes. Almost there. I think he's up to his last lift now. Actually met him afterwards, shook hands with him, and my sister as well. She actually used to work with him when they were working at Movie World together. So it was an entertainer there. And he's got his own company, which is provides, I think it's natural supplements and all, where you can actually, help you get into shape, help you build a physique. So this guy's a very, very interesting man. So he is. Well done, 100 times in under 10 minutes. Well done. This brings me to the end of my World Vegan Day video. I hope you enjoyed it. I've got lots of other types of videos out there. I've got my vegan economics videos. I've got my economic concept videos as well. I've also got my Steam It blog, where I've got a number of different things I've got going on there. Look at different economic concepts, looking at how economics is applied in our daily lives. Again, I've got some good write-ups there as well on my vegan economics stuff that I'm doing at the moment. So plenty of stuff going on. So if you like this video, remember to click like. And if you're interested in this other stuff as well, remember to follow me. I'm also on Steam It as well. I'm Spectrum Econs over there. So if you want to go and take a look at that, I have the link in the description. So thank you for watching, and if you're at Vegan Day, maybe I met you there while I was there. If not, hopefully you enjoyed the video, you get a good idea of what happens at World Vegan Day, and maybe you'll be able to come along next year. Thank you very much. Goodbye.